Most people think of breath as ordinary something automatic, a background rhythm of life. But what if the very act of breathing carried the codes of creation? Ancient traditions have whispered this for thousands of years, and modern science is finally catching up. The breath is not just air entering your lungs. It is information. It is energy. It is the bridge between body, mind, and the infinite quantum field. When you inhale unconsciously, shallow and rushed, you are unconsciously rehearsing your past. Your nervous system loops in old patterns, replaying familiar emotions, reinforcing old beliefs. You breathe as though your body is bracing for survival, not opening for possibility. And so, life repeats itself. But when you breathe as the observer-aware, intentional, spacious, something extraordinary happens. Breath becomes a quantum signal. Your awareness attaches meaning to the inhale, recognition to the exhale, and in that conscious rhythm, you collapse possibilities into form. You begin to merge with the reality you desire, not by chasing it, but by embodying it. The observer breath is not about forcing. It's not about hyperventilation or controlling oxygen like a machine. It's about recognition. It's about remembering that the act of breathing is the act of receiving life itself. Every inhale says, I am open to the infinite. Every exhale says, I release the illusion of separation. Let me give you an image. Imagine your desires are already floating in the quantum field, like frequencies waiting to be tuned into. Every unconscious breath keeps your radio dial fixed on an old station, the same patterns of lack, fear, limitation. But the observer breath, it adjusts the dial. It attunes your nervous system to the frequency of abundance, love, health, whatever your deepest desires may be. This is why ancient yogis treated breath as sacred. This is why mystics whispered about prana chi, life force. And this is why neuroscience today shows us that slow, conscious breathing rewires the brain, calms the amygdala, and activates higher states of awareness. The ancients and the scientists are finally speaking the same language. Breath is the interface between you and the quantum. The problem is, most people breathe as though they are running from life. Short, shallow, survival-based. But the observer? Breath teaches you to breathe as if you already are life because you are. And in that awareness, you stop broadcasting the vibrations of fear and start radiating the signal of alignment. Your future is not out there, waiting to be chased. It's here, waiting to be remembered. And the doorway is as simple as profound. As your next breath, transformation is not about adding something new. It is about awakening to what has always been within you. When you breathe as the observer, you rise above the noise of automatic reactions. You are no longer tossed around by fear, doubt, or the old programs of your mind. Instead, you step into the role of the creator, calm, centered, and infinitely powerful. The observer breath is your bridge to that state. With every inhale, you draw in awareness. With every exhale, you release attachment to the chaos of reaction. You begin to witness your thoughts without being consumed by them. And in that stillness, a new possibility is born. This is where creation begins, not in the rush of impulse, but in the quiet mastery of observation. When you embody the observer, life shifts. The world no longer dictates your state, you choose it. The past no longer defines your story, you rewrite it. And your future is no longer left to chance, you consciously design it. Breath is not merely a biological necessity. It is not just oxygen filling the lungs, carbon dioxide leaving the body. Breath is the most ancient, most intimate bridge between you and the infinite. It is the silent messenger that carries signals, not only through your bloodstream, but also through the unseen layers of reality that weave your life into existence. Think about it. Breath is the one act you were born doing and the last act you will take before leaving this world. It has been with you in every single moment, yet most of the time, it goes unnoticed. Why? Because hidden in its simplicity lies the greatest secret. Breath is the universal language of the quantum field. Every inhale is an invitation. Every exhale is a declaration. When you breathe unconsciously, you live like a passenger on a train, carried by momentum, moving without awareness. But when you begin to breathe consciously, lowly, intentionally, with awareness, you shift roles. You are no longer just a passenger. You become the conductor. You begin to interact with the universe in its native tongue, vibration. The quantum field does not listen to the chatter of the mind. It does not respond to doubt, fear, or logic. It responds only to frequency, to coherence, to the silent song of alignment, and your breath is the instrument that tunes you to that frequency. With each inhale, you are not just pulling air into your lungs, you are drawing in life force, energy, intelligence. You are synchronizing with the rhythm that has guided the birth of stars, the bloom of flowers, the beating of your own heart. And with each exhale, you are not just releasing air, we're broadcasting a signal. You are imprinting your intention. Onto the field, you are saying, this is what I choose. This is the frequency I live in. This is what I am aligned with. Exhale becomes your prayer, your declaration, your signature upon the infinite canvas of creation. This is why people who live in stress, anxiety, and fear often feel disconnected from their dreams. Their breath is shallow, rushed, fragmented, just like their energy. In that state, the signal they are broadcasting is incoherent, filled with static. But the moment they slow down, the moment they anchor into the breath, everything changes. The static dissolves into harmony. The noise becomes music. Their energy becomes magnetic. Breath is coherence. Breath is alignment. Breath is creation. It is not asking, not begging, not hoping. It is declaring, I am one with this universe. I am tuned to the frequency of what I desire. I am not separate from my tit, already exists within me. Through breath, you stop chasing and start attracting. You stop grasping and start allowing. You realize you don't need to scream your desires into the void. You only need to breathe them into being so. Let your inhale be the intake of divine possibility, and let your exhale be the delivery of your intention. When you live this way, you are no longer speaking to the universe in broken fragments. You are conversing fluently in its eternal language. That language is breath. Every breath you take is more than just oxygen entering your lungs. It is an invitation, a bridge, a doorway into the reality you are choosing to create. Most people breathe without awareness. They inhale to survive, exhale without thought, and remain trapped in the cycles of yesterday. But when you choose to breathe consciously, when you infuse your breath with intention, you stop living as a prisoner of your past, and you start breathing life into your future self. Think about it. Your future is not some distant event waiting for you on the timeline of tomorrow. It is a potential, vibrating in the quantum field right now, waiting for you to align with it. And alignment doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you step into resonance, when your mind, your heart, your body, and your breath begin to move as one with the energy of what you desire. Breathing into your future self is the act of embodying tomorrow today. With each inhale, you are drawing in the essence of the person you are becoming. With each exhale, you release the limitations of who you once were. It is the most powerful affirmation without words, the declaration that you are no longer chasing your dreams but inhabiting them now. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the version of you who has already stepped into the life you long for. See their posture, their confidence, their peace. Feel their energy. Notice the way they move, the way they carry themselves, the frequency they radiate. That version of you is not a fantasy, it is a reality already existing in the infinite field of possibilities. And every intentional breath you take becomes a signal to the universe. This is who I am now. This is who I choose to embody. The difference between people who endlessly wish and those who manifest is simple. Wishers wait. Manifestors breathe it into existence. They understand that breathing is not just physiological, it is spiritual. It is quantum. It is the sacred act of merging imagination with embodiment. When you inhale, visualize drawing in the energy of your future self-confidence, clarity, abundance, health, love. When you exhale, imagine releasing every fragment of fear, every whisper of doubt, every weight of the past. With each cycle of breath, you are sculpting yourself into alignment with what you seek. And here is the secret. The more you embody your future self now, the faster that future becomes your reality. The universe does not give you what you chase. It mirrors who you are. If you keep breathing from your past anxious, shallow, reactive, you will keep repeating yesterday's cycles. But if you breathe from your future, deep, intentional, aligned, you collapse the distance between who you were and who you are becoming. Breathing into your future self is the practice of presence with purpose. It is stepping into the quantum truth that you are not separate from what you desire, you are it. With every inhale, you remind yourself that your dreams are alive within you. With every exhale, you let go of the illusion that you are anything less than the creator of your reality. So breathe deeply. Breathe intentionally. Breathe not as the person you were, but as the person you are becoming. Because in that breath, the future is not what we need, is happening. The past is not just a memory, it is energy imprinted in the body. Every unresolved experience, every unexpressed emotion, every unhealed wound leaves behind an energetic residue. Your mind may forget, but your body remembers. This is why sometimes, without warning, old fear resurfaces, old pain lingers, and old stories replay. They are not random, they are stored within you, waiting for acknowledgement, waiting for release. Breath is the key that unlocks this prison of the past. With each conscious inhale, you draw in the light of awareness, and with each exhale, you dissolve the chains of yesterday. The observer breath is not just about oxygen, it is about liberation. When you breathe with intention, you are telling your body it is safe to let go. It is safe to move beyond the old story. Think about it. The past often shows up as tension in your chest, tightness in your shoulders, knots in your stomach. These are not coincidences. They are the body's way of holding on to what the mind has not released. But when you engage in observer breath, something extraordinary happens. You begin to create spaciousness inside of you. The body, which was holding on to fear, suddenly finds permission to relax. The nervous system, which was guarding against danger long gone, begins to soften. You become lighter not because the past has changed, but because you no longer carry its weight. Breathing consciously is like opening the windows of a dusty old house. The stale air of yesterday is replaced by the fresh oxygen of now. Every exhale becomes an act of forgiveness. Every inhale, a declaration of renewal. You no longer identify with the shadows of who you were. You align with the possibility of who you are becoming. Many people try to run from their past. They distract themselves. They bury themselves in work, in relationships, in noise. But what is buried never disappears, simply waits. Breath is different. Breath doesn't run. Breath confronts. It meets the pain where it lives in the body and gently dissolves it. It doesn't force, it doesn't fight. It releases with compassion. When you practice observer breath, you are no longer rehearsing old traumas. You are rewriting your inner script. You step out of the cycle of reaction and you reclaim the space to create anew. The body, once bound by history, becomes an instrument of freedom. So ask yourself, what are you still carrying that no longer serves you? Whose words still echo in your mind, even though they were spoken years ago? What fears still grip your heart, though the moment has long passed? The breath gives you the courage to face these questions and the grace to release their hold. Because the truth is simple. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the story you once believed. With every conscious breath, you step closer to the truth you are a creator, free to begin again. Breathe in presence. Breathe out the past. And watch as your body, mind, and soul align with the freedom you were always meant to live. The observer breath is not just about inhaling and exhaling air. It is about weaving together the three great dimensions of your being: mind, body, and spirit. Each breath becomes a unifying thread, drawing together what has long been fragmented, aligning what has long been scattered. Your mind, with its endless thoughts and restless chatter, begins to slow and soften under the rhythm of conscious breathing. The scattered noise loses its grip, replaced by clarity, insight, and a calm awareness. The breath brings the mind into stillness, not by force, but by invitation. Your body, often burdened with tension, stress, and unspoken emotion, begins to release its hold. As you breathe deeply, you feel the shoulders drop, the chest expand, the belly loosen. The breath whispers to your cells, you are safe. You are free. You can let go now. Slowly, the body shifts from survival mode into harmony, becoming a vessel of light rather than a cage of fear. Your spirit, the eternal aspect of you, awakens through this synchronization. When the mind is quiet and the body is open, the spirit can expand. You begin to feel a presence beyond the physical luminous awareness that rises within and surrounds you. The observer breath reconnects you to that infinite essence, reminding you that you are not just flesh and thought, but boundless energy. When these three dimensions align, mind steady, body at ease, spirit awakened, you step into coherence. In this state, you are no longer fragmented, no longer pulled in different directions. You are whole. You are centered. You are radiant. This is the true gift of the observer breath. It doesn't just calm you, it integrates you, harmonizes the thinking self, the physical self, and the eternal self into one unified flow of being. In that harmony, life feels lighter, clearer, and more connected. And from this alignment, you don't just breathe, you create. You don't just live, you expand. Stillness is often misunderstood. Many believe it is an absence of movement. Void, a silence filled with nothing. But in truth, stillness is not emptiness, is the richest space of creation, the womb of infinite possibility, the invisible canvas upon which life paints its grandest realities. The observer breath is your key to entering this sacred stillness, and within it, you discover that your desires are not distant stars waiting to be reached. They are already woven into the fabric of your being. When you breathe consciously, you are not merely pulling oxygen into your lungs. You are tuning your entire system to the frequency of stillness, to the rhythm of the quantum field. With each slow inhale, you quiet the noise of resistance. With each deliberate exhale, you release the clutter of doubt, fear, and distraction. And then something miraculous happens. You slip beneath the surface turbulence of the mind and into the deep, still waters of awareness. Here in this stillness, you are no longer separate from your desires, you merge with them. Desire is often chased like a butterfly, always fluttering just out of reach. But butterflies are not meant to be pursued. They land on the one who becomes still enough, gentle enough, present enough to receive them. This is the secret. The observer breath teaches you to become magnetic by being still. You stop chasing, and instead, you begin embodying. You stop reaching outward, and instead, you realize that everything you long for is already coded within you, waiting for stillness to activate its expression. Think of a pond. When its waters are disturbed by wind or stones, the reflection is distorted. But when the pond becomes still, it mirrors the sky with perfect clarity. Your life works the same way. When your mind races, when your emotions storm, your vision of desire becomes blurred and distorted. But when you enter the quiet stillness of breath, your inner pond settles, and the reflection of your true self, lined with all you wish to create, emerges crystal clear. Stillness is not passive. It is potent, alive, vibrating with unseen energy. It is in stillness that the seed bursts into life, though the soil seems motionless. It is in stillness that stars are born in the silence of space. And it is in stillness, through the observer breath, that your desires find their way from possibility into reality. When you merge with your desire in this stillness, you no longer ask if it will come. You feel that it already has. You no longer question when it will happen. You embody that it is now. The universe does not respond to desperation or chase it, responds to alignment, to harmony, to the quiet magnetic certainty that emerges in stillness. So with every breath, allow yourself to soften. Step into the silent sanctuary, where creation breathes you as much as you breathe it. For in that stillness, you and your desires are no longer two separate entities. You are one. Science and spirituality often seem like two different languages, yet both point to the same undeniable truth. Your breath is not just air, it is energy, vibration, and intelligence in motion. Each inhale and exhale is a living bridge, connecting the biology of your body to the vast field of energy that holds every potential reality you could ever dream of. Modern physics teaches us that reality is not fixed. It is fluid, shaped by observation and intention. At the quantum level, particles do not exist in a definite state. Until observed, they remain as probabilities, as infinite possibilities. Now imagine this. Every conscious breath you take is an act of observation, collapsing infinite potentials into a singular path aligned with your desire. You are no longer at the mercy of chance. You are engaging directly with the creative engine of the universe. An ancient wisdom has whispered the same truth for millennia. The breath is life force. Call it prana, chi, spirit, or simply energy. Civilizations have always understood that to control the breath is to command the direction of your life. When you breathe shallow and unconscious, you remain entangled in stress, fear, and survival. But when you breathe deeply, rhythmically, and intentionally, you signal to your body, I am safe. I am powerful. I am open to creation. The biology follows. Science shows that conscious breathing regulates the nervous system, calms the stress response, balances hormones, and increases brain coherence. When your brain waves slow and synchronize, your inner world becomes more ordered, more creative, more magnetic. Your heart rate steadies, your immune system strengthens, and your cells begin to vibrate in harmony with the energy of vitality. This shift in biology translates into a shift in frequency, and frequency is the language the universe responds to. Manifestation is not magic, it is resonance. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. The breath is the tool that transforms what you are. With each cycle of inhalation and exhalation, you tune your inner instrument, aligning your energy field with the very reality you wish to live. It is as if you are broadcasting a signal to the quantum field, and the universe, obliged by the laws of resonance, returns to you experiences, opportunities, and synchronicities that match your vibration. So when you practice observer breath, understand this: you are not merely calming yourself, you are recalibrating your entire system into alignment with creation. You are rewriting the code of your biology, unlocking the potential that science says is dormant within you, and embodying the wisdom that ancient masters carried in their silence. The science is clear. The wisdom is timeless. The invitation is clear. Invitation is simple. Breathe not as a passive necessity, but as an active declaration of your power to manifest. Through the breath, you are both the scientist and the mystic, the creator and the creation, the dreamer and the dream fulfilled. Breath is not confined to the cushion. The mat, or the quiet sanctuary of meditation, is the thread that carries you through every waking moment. When you understand this, you realize that the observer breath is not just a practice. It becomes a way of being. It is the art of walking through life not as a prisoner of circumstances, but as a conscious creator of reality. Most people live on autopilot, reacting to life as though it is happening to them. They carry the weight of their triggers, the heaviness of stress, the noise of unprocessed thoughts. And they wonder why clarity feels so far away. But when you live as the observer, when your breath becomes the anchor, you rise above the turbulence. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer chase alignment. You embody it. The observer breath trains you to step back from the storm without denying it exists. You don't suppress your emotions, you witness them. You don't resist the chaos, you see it for what it is, passing waves on the surface of your vast ocean of consciousness. And in that witnessing, in that gentle rhythm of inhale and exhale, you find yourself steady, centered, untouchable. This is where life changes. Imagine walking into a conversation that would have once triggered anger or fear. Instead of being pulled into the old story, you take a breath, and suddenly, clarity enters. You see not just the words spoken, but the energy behind them. Recognize the illusion of attack or judgment, and instead, respond with wisdom. That is living as the observer. It means when challenges come, you are not consumed by them. When opportunities arise, you don't let doubt sabotage them. When life shifts unpredictably, you don't collapse into panic. You breathe, you align, you act. Your breath becomes the compass, pointing you toward truth in every situation. To live this way is to live awake. You begin to notice synchronicities unfolding around you. The right people appear, the right doors open, the right ideas flow. Not because you forced them, but because your breath kept you aligned with the frequency where they already existed. And here is the real gift. When you embody the observer's breath, you realize peace is not something you wait for. It's something you carry. Alignment is not occasional, it is constant. Clarity is not fleeting, it is your baseline state. So don't confine your breath to meditation alone. Take it into the grocery store, into your relationships, into your work, into every single moment. Let it remind you that you are not the chaos, you are the stillness behind it. You are not the reaction, you are the response. You are not separate from creation, you are its living expression. To live as the observer is to live with mastery. And mastery begins with a single conscious breath.